Board. Okay, that way those people who aren't able to make it live and in person or live on the Zoom can watch this recording later on. All right, students of Rio TV, my leadership crew, my returners, please take it away.
May we move on to the next slide?
Hello, my name is Gia, and today I'm going to be presenting to you what roles you can do in Rio TV. So in Rio TV, we have many jobs, as you know. We anchor and we do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, anchoring is not the only thing you can do, and here are just some of the jobs that you can do. You can do scripts, which is writing the daily script for our show. You can direct, which is keeping everyone in the studio in line. You can anchor, which is the people who are going to be on Rio TV. You can tech direct, which is the people who is recording the anchors. You could teleprompt, which you are teleprompting the script to the anchors so they can view it. You could be the sound engineer, and you are making sure the sound is level for the anchors and for the show. And you can edit, so you edit the show, which the anchors are saying. And then you could do the thumbnail. You could do the thumbnail, which is you take a picture of the anchors and then you make a creative image about what they do. Also, some other jobs that are not as recognized as much is the tech chair, the attendance monitor, the graphics team, clubs and activities team, Chromebook captain, animated banners team, ASB coordinator, and many more jobs.
All right, and before we move on to the next slide, because when I saw Gia mute herself, that to me was the cue to move to the next slide. Can I go ahead and say this? For all of our, I'm going to start off by saying thank you to all of our returners who are presenting this evening. Thank you so much. And then for all of our new people, new current seventh graders, it's great to have you on the team. Our new sixth graders, you are not even done with elementary school yet, and already you are getting hyped up and excited about coming to junior high and being a part of Rio Norte and Rio TV. So thank you. If you have any questions, this is if you've ever heard of the metaphor taking a drink from a fire hydrant, it's that's kind of what it might feel like tonight, right? Like you're taking in a lot of information in a very short amount of time. So please feel free. A couple of different ways you can do this. You can either raise your digital hand, if you know how to do that in Zoom. I don't even remember how to do that anymore. You could raise your physical hand if we can see your face on Zoom, or if you want to type a question into the chat. I feel like the chat is open. And so let's go ahead and before we go any further, who has the next slide? Who's the next presenter?
I do.
Right on. Okay, so Abriella, before we move on, can we just to check and make sure that the chat is working? If you have access to the chat, can you do me a favor real quick and just drop into the chat one thing that you are really excited about to be a part of Rio TV for next year? What are you super excited about for next year for Rio TV 2025, 2026? Go ahead and drop that in the chat right now. And I'm going to type something as well. This way we just make sure that the chat is working. Right on. Looks like the chat is working. Thank you. Right on. So Srijita, thank you for checking in. Gia, Spondita, Justin, Lily, Abriella, and Maylee. They're all dancers and they're all in the same space right now. So thank you for jumping in on the same device. Leo, Cameron, Ananya, thank you. Hudson, Ava, Connor, Jaden, Ishan, Zion, Colin, Lucas, Evelyn. So excited to have you. Thank you. All right, now, Abriella. Now, and you can continue to drop your stuff in the chat, your response in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and click to the next slide. And Abriella, it's all yours. Take it away.
Okay, so I'm Gabriella Henry, and I'm going to be talking about if you have to be on camera or not. So the answer is no. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And as Gia previously mentioned, we have a lot of other jobs besides anchoring such as text directing, editing, and sound engineering. It's obviously a personal choice, and yeah.
Is that my cue for next slide? Next slide.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am Lily Kneeland, and I'm going to talk about what councils are. So, councils are a group of about 5 people that specialize in making a certain type of segment. One council we currently have in Rio TV is the Cooking and Baking Council, and they specialize in making segments that show the students of Rio Norte how to make delicious foods and treats. Some other councils that we have are Traditions, Holidays, and Heroes, and they talk about the different holidays and just things that are happening. Welcome to Rio is a council that's only in quarter 3 and is for the 6th grade jamboree. And Kindness, Health, and Wellness is they're in charge of making daily doses of positivity, and they're in charge of like character challenges and all that stuff. Rio Guesser is basically they make segments that make you guess where you are on campus, and they give like hints on where it is and like b-roll footage. Cooking and baking I already mentioned, which they show how to make different foods. Rio Recap basically tells the school about different news events that are happening outside of school, and it's just like regular news. And of the week is where people go around and interview everybody and ask a question, and it gets put into like a little segment. So
Lily, I have a question. Do I have to be in the same council the whole school year? And do I get any kind of say or choice in what council I join?
So before you join any segments, there will be a Google form, and you pick the top 3 that you want to join and why. And it changes quarterly. So you can join 3 to 4, I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
Well done. I knew the answer to that, but I just thought that might be a question on some people's minds. Any other questions about councils before we move on to our next topic? All right, Lily, thank you. And next presenter.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Lucas Tran, and it's a great night to meet everyone. So do you have to stay after school? So of course, no. No one is forced to stay after school because Rio TV's production schedule is very flexible with everyone. Like everything you do is like mostly voluntary. You get to choose what you want to do, and you get to choose which day you want to do it. Like let's say there's a B day in which we don't meet on during period 3, where period 3 we usually film. So where we don't meet in period 3, you film after school, and you don't have to film after school. The people that want to film after school, they can choose to film after school, and it's the same thing with a lot of other stuff. Like if a lot of after school production is voluntary, and also that you don't only do jobs like in class or during production or after school. There are also like at home jobs that you could do, such as editing and making graphics. And yeah, thank you.
Lucas, thank you. Oh, wait, hold on. Any questions so far? Feel free to drop it in the chat. Raise your digital hand, raise your physical hand. All right. Next presenter.
Hi, I'm Jaden, and I'll be telling you about what WeVideo and Canva are. In RioTV, we use a number of platforms and spreadsheets to help organize and create our shows and segments. The main platforms we use are WeVideo and Canva. WeVideo is an editing software that we use almost every day to edit our shows. We also use it to make segments. We use WeVideo because it is easy to understand and it isn't very hard to import files and clips from things like Google Drive into WeVideo. It has a lot of transitions, tools, and stock footage that are also very helpful for editing. Canva is a platform that we use to make cool graphics to help spread and share information with the school. And it has lots of different fonts, borders, and images that allow each graphic to look different from all the rest. Both of these platforms are provided to all Rio TV students, and we get to use the Pro version because we are a school program, which gives us access to even more special tools. Thank you.
I will just briefly add on. Canva is provided free through Canva for Education. So we're very grateful to Canva for Education. WeVideo, it is a paid platform. There is a free version, but we have the paid version, and we are very fortunate and thankful to Mrs. Bennett, who pays for that out of her Principal's Formula account every year. And so there is a free version, but there would be a watermark, and it's so we definitely benefit from having the paid version and are very grateful to Mrs. Bennett for making that happen. Any questions on WeVideo and Canva? And you'll be able to so what'll happen is those dates that I shared with you. Once we all gather together in August, one of the things that we'll do during what we call our onboarding process is we're going to get you logged in, sixth graders right now. We will get you logged in. We already know your email address, your Hart District email address. And so we'll get you logged in that at the end of the summer, beginning of August. And then we'll get you your WeVideo account, your Canva account, so that you can hit the ground running. Okay, next slide.
Okay, so hi, I'm Spongy and I apologize for the very noisy computer. So here's this question. Do I need any experience? And the answer is no, you do not need any experience to join RioTV. We teach you all of that. It's like when I joined RioTV, I had no clue how to make graphics, how to edit videos. I learned all of this year. It's really simple, and we encourage you all to try it out.
All right, thank you, Spondita. Next slide.
Hello, I'm Chloe Kim, and I'm going to be talking about how does grading work. So in RioTV, we have a grading sheet that we call a service log. And on the service log, we will write down all the jobs we have done in RioTV, and for each job, we will get a certain amount of points. And then we will get a signature from one person from any leadership position to confirm that we did that job.
And don't let grading intimidate you. We were using, for those of us who are returners, we were using the service log for a while. I've been experimenting with different things, different forms of grading. We're going to go back to the service log, but the first 5 weeks of school, same thing I've always done for every year. The first 5 weeks of school, everybody's just learning. So I'm going to have a little assignment, like a little reflection assignment. Everybody gets an A. So I don't want grading to overwhelm anybody. Chloe, are you continuing to talk here for the next slide? I think that has service log information.
I believe that is somebody else.
Got it. Okay.
Hi, my name is Connor Hurley, and the RioTV service log is our way of grading, as said before. We use the service log to help our personal growth and to inform, engage, include, and inspire. When we do a project or a job in the studio, we gain points. These points need to be signed to count as points and need to be signed by people who have leadership roles. This should be done in 3 days, or else the points will not count. We also are graded on leadership points. By the end of the quarter, we will have to meet a minimum amount of points for a grade.
So hey guys, my name is Colin Jung, and I'm a current RioTV student, and let me explain a little bit more about the service log. So basically, the area you see shaded in yellow, that's the service date, the day of which you did that specific service. Let's say I wrote a script on like the first day of school. I would write that day, and that's what I would put in that section. And in the green section of the service log that's highlighted here, it's the description of service, like what specifically I did. So let's say I would write, I wrote like a script, and that's like, it can be anything. For like a graphic, I did like a pajama day graphic or something like that. And you see in like the bluish section, we have the service points and leadership points. So every role you do, whether it's like writing a script, whether you're editing, or if you're part of the production job, you get a different amount of service and leadership points. And those specific points will eventually add up into your final grade. And you, in the purple highlighted area, that's the self-evaluation. So what you think you did, what you think you did, or how well you did on that specific job, or what you could improve on. You can also be positive about what I did well and stuff like that. And as Connor said earlier, the orange part is like the authorized signature. So if you were to write a script, you would go to like someone like the president or the lead scriptwriter to like sign that within 3 days to make it like a valid job you did.
As you know, the service log requires you to write down all the jobs you have done and how many points you awarded yourself for this job. This spreadsheet shows all the jobs and the amount of service points and leadership points you can get from the job. For example, if you wrote a script, you would get 3 service points and 2 leadership points. Your goal is to collect as many points and do as many jobs as possible before the end of the quarter, and that's how you get your grade.
So here is a service log example. So this shows what it would look like. Like a fully finished page would look something like this. So as you can see, there's signatures on the right, and then there's the amount of points that they've have earned.
I should also point out, because I know as a parent, this might appear overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of stuff. First of all, we have returners who have already done this, that can help coach our new students. We ease into it. So please do not feel overwhelmed by this. What I will say though is part of the grading in Rio TV is it's sort of like gig work, right? Sort of like being an Uber driver or Lyft driver or something like that. Like you have to, you kind of have to hustle a little bit to get those jobs, to get those points, to get to get credit on your service log. It's very similar to the way ASB does their grading. In a typical class, the teacher assigns things to you. Like in my history class or in a science class or math class, the teacher assigns things to you and you do it and you get a grade for it. And that's kind of how it works. With Rio TV, you need that additional initiative. So you need to kind of step forward. And again, during those first 5 weeks, that's when you're practicing taking that initiative. And we have, and students will talk about this in just a little bit. They'll talk about the conga line and signing up for production jobs and, and stepping forward and, doing work with your council. So you have to take that initiative, we build in systems so that you can step forward and volunteer. But part of it too is you do have to take that initiative and go, oh, you know what? Maybe I do need to maybe work on one more segment, do one more interview or, to get the grade that I want. So again, we'll ease into it. Don't be too overwhelmed by this. It's a lot to take in, but you're going to do great. All right. Who has the next slide? Oh, this is me. Oh, I'm so excited. Hey, okay, so this is the part where I ask for money. It's always awkward because as a teacher, I don't like asking for money, but we need money in order to do the things that we love to do, and to also have our, as the young kids say, our drip. I am modeling my Rio TV drip. This is what we ask is that every family, if you are able, we ask every family to donate $75 to the program. What that does is that helps pay for your Rio TV t-shirt. It helps pay for your Rio TV hoodie, and then it helps pay for the Rio TV memory book that we get at the end of the year. Our memory book is currently in production right now. It is currently being printed as we speak, and students will get that next week. So that $75 covers all of that. It also, if you're able to give any more, if you'd like to do a family sponsorship or a gold sponsorship or a platinum sponsorship, then those additional funds help us with other things. We had a part in our studio that went down that it cost us like $500. And the school doesn't necessarily have the funds to just replace a $500 piece of equipment in the studio that we use. And so this is one of the ways that helps us to do that. If there are any families who cannot, who need a little bit of assistance, that helps to go to that. If there are families who need a little help sending students to leadership camp, we do have some limited space for CATA leadership camp, which I'm going to be talking about in just a moment. I'll talk about that at the end after all the other students are done, because that's kind of a little fun extra that I want to talk about. But your money is very well spent, and it takes care of our program and helps us do the things that we love to do. And so any consideration, we would greatly appreciate it. Again, this is the part where I get very uncomfortable asking for money. But as you can see, if you choose to be a family sponsor or above, once again, that's the $100 level or above, then you do get recognized on every Rio TV show, all 185 of our shows during the school year, and so you get a little shout out there on every YouTube video description. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about for now. When the students are done, I'll come back to me.
Okay, so it's my turn again. So there's a lot that we learn in Rio TV, and these are like soft and hard skills. So creativity is one of those skills that we learn in Rio TV. So we learn to enhance our creativity from making scripts to making graphics. We need to rack our brain to figure out how to make it the best it can be. Tech skills. At Rio TV, we learn to edit, fix issues in the studio, and become more comfortable in the world of technology. As a media production elective in Norte, we have to get comfortable with technology. We also have to learn to be a leader. Rio TV requires a lot of leadership to speak up and keep people on track. I know we're all tempted to do other stuff while we have nothing really to do in Rio TV, but we have to learn to be focused on what we want to do in our elective, what we are aiming to do, which is produce videos. So we also have to learn to work as a team. Teamwork is important to create a show each and every day. If we didn't have any teamwork, we wouldn't be able to push out any show, not zero. We also have to learn to be attentive. Throughout our experience in Rio TV, we learn to pay attention to details when we give constructive feedback. So each day we learn and grow when we give feedback to the show. We criticize it, but we also say, "Oh, this is cool. We love that," and we learn a lot by giving giving feedback. We learn how we can make things better, what we can work on. So we also have to learn to be organized. Rio TV calls for organization. We put together conga lines and the what you doing spreadsheet. This is another way we keep ourselves accountable. We organize before previously we had talked about the conga line. Well, we don't think we are, but we talked about the production schedule and how we put together teams for every day to make the show. That's one way we stay organized. We also use a what you doing spreadsheet to keep ourselves accountable when we are producing segments. Another one that we work on is called decision making, of course. In Rio TV, we have to learn to make tough decisions that benefit Rio TV but not ourselves. So yes, we have to make decisions that will help our elective, help us make videos every single day. But of course, it might take away time from our own daily lives, like making graphics. It does take a bit of time. So there you have it.
All right, Spondita, thank you. And what else will students learn in Rio TV? Am I supposed to stay on this slide, or do I move on to the next slide?
Yeah.
Stay on the slide. All right, Wendy.
Okay, so other than like just the obvious things that we do in Rio TV, I will talk about this from my experience, but from my experience, I was able to learn like new things that I never expected to do if I wasn't in Rio TV. And I was able to like grow my leadership skills like usual. And then in seventh grade, like I know that it feels overwhelming and like it can seem complex. But then like I hope that you guys will soon come to realize that you will all do these things and don't feel pressured or stressed by these things. It's just enjoy the process. And without being in Rio TV, you won't be able to try these things. So make sure to always try new things in Rio TV.
Okay, before. Oh, Lily, Gabriella, and Maylee, thanks for joining us. They got to go back to dance, I think. Okay, before we do the Q&A, there's a couple more things that I wanted to share. First of all, I teased previously. Let me go ahead and switch my screen share. Let's share this. Can you now see, are you now seeing Kata Leadership Camp? Are you seeing that screen? Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for all the nodding heads. That was helpful. Okay, so Kata Leadership Camp every summer. So let me back up. I'll tell a little bit of history without trying to, take this too crazy. Starting in the summer of 1990, this gives you an indication of how old Mr. Ippolito is. Starting in the summer of 1990, I first attended Kata Leadership Camp, and for me, it was life-changing. It was amazing, and I wanted to come back. And so I came back the next year. These are both years that I'm in high school. And then I was like, I want to go back some more. So I got my history degree from UCLA, and then I got my teaching credential, and then I started bringing students to Kata Leadership Camp. That's how much I loved it. I've been bringing students ever since 1997, and I have been bringing students ever since. This photo that you see here, this is a photo of last year's group. Now you may see there are RioTV students here, there are ASB students here, so we bring a combined delegation of student leaders, RioTV students and ASB students. And so our plan this year is to bring 10 students, 5 from RioTV and 5 from ASB. Mrs. Welch already has her 5 selected and signed up and ready to go. And I was waiting for tonight to give this information to you. So students and parents and guardians and caregivers, if you are interested, then you can visit. This is just on the application website, right? So if you go to apply.riotv.org, and then if you click on the Kata Leadership Camp tab right up here, then you can check out some photos. This is from last year. There's our our Rio Norte delegation with ASB and Rio TV students. And then just kind of a little mixer. You can see some Rio Norte students there. Every evening we do a little debrief, like how can we take all the things that we've learned and take it back to school? So that's us doing our debrief there in one of our lounges. At the end, there is a reflections ceremony where there's me. I'm part of the camp staff as well, because I loved it so much. Not only do I take students, but I work the leadership camps as well. A little reflections night on the very last night of camp. There's just a whole bunch of great stuff in between, motivational speakers and all sorts of good stuff. There's also a talent show. So Rio Norte students participated in the talent show. And so that was when they were on stage and back. A really good way to get an idea of everything the students learn and experience is this video right here, which I will not play for you. But if you are interested and you'd like to run that and play it at home and check it out, you can. And then all sorts of information about who attends and what is it and where do students stay and what are the living arrangements like and all that. I don't need to go any further. If you are interested, if I have piqued your curiosity and you'd like to learn more, then you can check it out right here. The last thing that I want to share with you before we get to the questions is summer.riotv.org. That just goes to this. It's a Google Doc and all of the information. So parents, I'm speaking from experience now. Sometimes I wish that because my daughter's a senior in high school, I sometimes wish, I already see some people popping on to summer.riotv.org. As a parent, I'm like, I wish all of the information were just all in one place, and that would make it so much easier. Well, here is all of the summer information all in one place, including all of the dates of everything. This is what we're doing right now tonight. And then going forward, next Wednesday's ice cream social, and then Kata Camp, information meeting, there's Kata Camp. And then these are all the dates. I've already emailed these dates to you, but if you're ever like, where are all those dates? Again, you can find them at summer.riotv.org. All of the summer emails, I'm not going to send a ton, but all of the emails that I will send, in case you're like, has Mr. Ippolito emailed us lately? You can find them all here. There's only one here right now. That was the first one that I sent you. The only one that I have not included yet is the one that I literally just sent like 30 minutes before this meeting started. I haven't updated I haven't put the little reminder email in there. But every email that I push out during the course of the summer, when I say summer, I mean between now and the start of school, is going to be here. And then if I need to push anything else out, a lot lot of times the information that I'll send out, honestly, is going to go through your child. But if it's like really, really, really like I want to make sure that parents get this, then I'll push that information out through Parent Square as well, because we use Parent Square in the Hart District to keep parents and guardians and caregivers informed. Okay. Well, I think I can now stop the share. Hello, we can see everybody now. Do we have any questions? Any questions? Okay, so Micah asks, what is the difference between service points and leadership points on the service log? Who would like to answer this question? Wendy, I think I saw your hand go up first. What's the difference, Wendy?
Okay, so there's points for all the jobs, but then for leadership points, it's like how much leadership you need for this job. Like not how much you need, but like how much you should get for this leadership because it's how the amount of leadership you have for this job. And then for the service points, it's just what you do for that job. I think wait.
I'm going to help Wendy out a little bit here since I'm the one who's in charge of grading. Micah, at the end of the day, they count for the same. I used to, back when in an earlier version of my grading system, students had to have so many service points and then a separate category for leadership points. Today, they just all go into the pot of points. But I separate them out just so you can kind of see, because each task, I think, has a different level of service. Like, what are you doing? What is the time that you're putting in? But then also leadership. So at the end of the day, it all goes into one bucket of points that you need to collect in order to get the grade that you want for the class. But so there is a difference, but then there really isn't a difference. And Micah, maybe that's not the best answer to give you. But again, my best advice to you, Micah, and everybody else who's new is once you kind of get into the flow of it, it'll make a lot more sense, and you will. The best advice I can give you is just step forward and take that initiative. And if someone offers like, "Hey, can you help us out with a project?" Then even if you're not quite sure what to do or how to help, just jump in, because every time you jump in and you join a project, you're part of a team, you're helping out, then you can be earning service points for that. So, okay, Micah, that was a good first question. Thank you. What's our next question? Parents and guardians and caregivers are allowed to ask questions too. Evelyn asks, how are the roles decided? Evelyn, are you willing to unmute yourself? Oh, I see a lot of hands going up. I'm going to let Lucas answer that in just a moment. But Evelyn, can you be more specific on what kind of roles were you talking about, Evelyn?
Like the jobs, like director, anchor one, anchor two, like.
That's a great question. Lucas, go ahead and answer that, and I'm gonna bring in a visual to help with that as well. Lucas, go for it.
Okay, so basically, usually every time we meet, or not every time we meet, when there's production spots, we decide using a production schedule. There's this thing we use called a conga line where we go through like the list of names and you get to choose which job you want to do. Like let's say, you want to be director, you want to be anchor one or anchor two or teleprompter, then you get to choose that job and you get to choose which date you want to do it for. Does that answer your question?
And Evelyn, to follow up on that, we do try to make it fair, where it's kind of we go down an alphabetical list. So I should have not stopped the screen share. So you can see that this is all filled up, right? Like I'm sharing. Am I sharing the production schedule right now? Yes. Okay. So this starts off, Evelyn, as blank. And then over time we fill it in. And every time we need to okay, it's time to fill it in. It's time for another conga line. Then we just go down the roster order alphabetically and we fill it in, and it's fair and equitable and fun. And for example, Evelyn, I'll just add on a little bit more. Some students who can't stay after school ever, they're going to opt for the A days, right? Because assuming that we keep we have the same like class period, then our class will meet on A days because we have period 3. That's our class period. So on A days, the production team goes into the studio during class time. It does not take up any after school time. The blue, the stuff that's coded blue here, those are the B days when students have to meet after school. So those students who have a little bit more flexibility in the afternoon, they will maybe volunteer for those B days. And then Lucas, yeah, go ahead.
So let me add on to production during B days. Normally it happens like a lot. There's some people that say they want to do a job on a B day, but then they end up are not able to do the job on a B day. In a situation like that, our team has a lot of like very flexible members, and we usually communicate either during Slack, or if we don't meet that we meet during advisory. And basically, Slack is an app where our team communicates through, like at home and outside of school. And if not Slack, then we communicate during advisory. And there we assign someone else to do the job for you. So if in a case where you're like, oh shoot, I can't do that job, then someone else can do the job for you.
All right, Wendy, I see your hand up, and then also Zion. Did I see your hand up, Zion?
Wait,
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to add for the production schedule for things like thumbnails and like scripts, that's something that you don't sign up for. You have to join a team that everyone can join. Everyone is yeah, included in the team. So if you want to join, then you can ask to join at the beginning of the year or in the middle. It doesn't matter which time. But then and then you can start being in the team schedule. Yeah.
Zion, what's your question?
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused based on how service points are awarded.
Colin, go ahead, and you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. So to answer that question, back to the production schedule, whenever we have a job, we would make sure we would at the beginning of every quarter we would be given that service log, that piece of paper, and what I like to do is like remind myself what day I'm having a job on, and let's say I like directed a show one day, I would initially write that down first, and then each job has there's like this Google document in our Google Classroom stream, and it has like its own it shows which jobs have how many points. And I'm pretty sure like directors, they show like 4 leadership points and 4 service points and 3 leadership points, and those points will be like added into your service log. And to make that job valid, you would just get a sign uh, by like get it signed by one of our leaders. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's see. What? Oh, Samanvi asked who puts the points on the service log. Samanvi, I can answer this. You do. You fill it out yourself. And then what happens? The accountability piece, I'll do the screen share again. So you fill all of this out yourself based on this is the guide that tells you like how many points you're going to earn for each of those tasks. And then just to verify, as like the accountability, like what students were talking about earlier, you get a signature. That's my kind of messy signature right there. This looks like Chloe. I see a few Chloes here. So this is just when it applies, it can be a student leader, or it can be myself signing off that just like verified that, yes, I witnessed that you did do this thing that you said that you did. All right. These are some great questions so far. Don't get too, like I said, don't get too hung up on the grading, because we'll have plenty of time to ease into that. Parents, guardians, caregivers, adults, do you have any questions? Okay. Well, I want to respect. Oh, Ishan, we'll do that. We'll do that in the fall. We don't. Ishan is asking when will we join Slack. Yeah, we'll go ahead and That's our. That's actually super helpful for our after school communication. We're really good at communicating with each other when we see each other during the school day, but then after school, Slack is a lifesaver for us. But we'll go ahead and take care of that in August when we do our onboarding. Ananya asks, is there a deadline for the CATA signing up? So yes, Ananya, that's a great question. The deadline is when it's full. So if you are interested, if you have a conversation with a parent so far, In my conversations with my returners, I have had one person say to me, Mr. Ippolito, I really want to go to Catacamp. The way that you tell me for sure that you want to go is message me, email me, and say, Mr. Ippolito, can I please go? And then let's follow that up with because we have already Rio Norte ASB has already paid for us. Like with the checks already, like it's in process, it's going. So we now need to pay, we need to put that money back. And so that's how we need to indicate that we are serious about going. So have a conversation with your parent or guardian if that's something that you're interested in. All the information's on the website. I can, if you need to have a separate conversation with me afterwards, then we can talk about it, one-on-one. We can talk about it after the Zoom is done if you have other questions. But we have 5 spots. So those 5 spots fill up quickly. So if you are interested, then message me and then we would. So what's going to happen next Wednesday is we're going to have our ice cream social. We're actually going to see each other, see all of us in person together for the first time. That's very exciting. So that's when I will, the money that I asked you for, that's when I may be like, hey, can you bring your checkbook, please? And of course, we also have electronic ways to pay as well. But if we want to avoid any of the, like the credit card processing fees that schools need to charge, if you still have a checkbook and if you can pay with a check, then bring your checkbook next Wednesday night. And you can go ahead and pay for Catacamp as well on that night. But we're going to also put all of this on the Rio Norte ASB web store, which is where you can pay for everything electronically. You can pay by credit card, and you can do it that way as well. Okay. Ananya, did I answer your question? Yeah, you're welcome. All right. These are good questions. Any other questions? When can we make the donation? Oh, my goodness. Thank you. So, Dave, thank you for your question. So Wednesday is when I'm going to have, I think it's my daughter. I think my daughter, Libby, who is not physically in the room right now. But I think she's going to be, I don't think my wife's going to be there. You can't make it next week? Oh, you're going to be there. Oh, right on. Hey, so my wife and daughter, you're going to get a chance to meet Mrs. Ippolito and my high school senior daughter. Actually, she'll be a graduate at that point. They're going to be at the table and they have the little cash box. And so that's when you can make your donation to Rio TV. And then anybody who's not able to make that donation in person, and they do take cash and checks, and then we deposit them into ASB. That's where all of our student funds go. They keep it nice and safe for us. And they keep track of our account, our Rio TV account. There will also be an electronic option as well. So I'll push out that information. It's a little more, it's not impossible. It's just a little bit more complicated if you're a 6th grader. It's slightly more complicated to pay electronically because, we use your student ID number and so not impossible, just a little more complicated. If you're able to pay with a check or with cash, oh, so much easier. I record it. Or actually I don't record it. My wife and my daughter will record it. They'll be at the welcome table checking you in. They'll be getting your shirt size, your t-shirt size, and your hoodie size. So that'll be when that happens is next Wednesday evening at the ice cream social. Great question. Any other questions? Oh, yes. And I'll include this. Thank you. I will include this information in my follow-up email. If we give a check for the donation, you make it out to Rio Norte ASB because they handle all of our money. So Rio Norte ASB. And in the memo line, you just put Rio TV donation. And then that's how you do that. Yep. Rio Norte ASB. I'll put all that information in the email. These are great questions. Thank you. I should have included that in my money presentation. All right. What other questions? Returners, is there anything else that we missed or anything else that we should have mentioned that we did not yet mention? Okay. Well, here's what's going to happen then. Hopefully we're going to see all of each other next Wednesday evening. So a couple ways we can do this. If you think of a question between now and next Wednesday and it's just like, oh my gosh, Mr. Ippolito, I want to ask this question, then just send me an email and ask me that question. If you can wait until next Wednesday, then we did, I feel like at the Ice Cream Social, we had a Q&A then as well. And we answered questions then. But the Ice Cream Social is so much fun. Thank you. I did have another question. Somebody emailed me real quick. This is an ice cream related question. Mr. Ippolito, the signups are already full. Can we still sign up to bring frozen treats? Here's the reality of what's going to happen. We're probably going to have more than we need anyway. So if you still want to bring frozen treats, any frozen treats that we do not eat at the ice cream social, my current Rio TV students are going to enjoy um, the next day because I'm just going to say, hey, we have ice cream. We got it because it's like the next day is literally the last day of school. So if you bring extra stuff, that's fine because my Rio TV students will be delighted to enjoy it. My current Rio TV students, they will love and appreciate it. But we're good. Like I think we're good on donations. So to all those families who already signed up to donate, both the dairy and the non-dairy treats, thank you so much, and we appreciate that. Okay. Any other questions? We've been on for 47 minutes. Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to do. First of all, this is, gosh, when I was doing a ton of Zooming, you remember the COVID days when we were doing a ton of Zooming? Ugh, I don't ever want to go back to those days, but this is convenient for what we're doing right now. So, whenever I wanted to say thank you and kind of goodbye, we're going to start off with thank you, the sign for applause. So I'm going to give big applause to our student presenters. Thank you to all of our student presenters who shared that awesome information. Thank you, Jaden. I like the applause emoji there as well. So let's do this. If you want to talk to me, if you just have a question you want to throw my way, but you don't necessarily need to ask it in front of the big group, I will stick around until I've answered all questions. Otherwise, if you have any additional questions between now and Wednesday, email me. If not, then I look forward to seeing you and the family, the whole family, next Wednesday for the ice cream social. Bring the siblings, bring grandparents, whoever you want to bring, because it is definitely a family ice cream social. And I'm going to go ahead and wave goodbye. This is a socially appropriate time for you to leave if you want to leave, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.